Hello, everybody, and I'm also not used to not being able to hear that fanfare. I don't have my headphones on at the moment. So, we are basically getting the ice beam in this part, plus a little bit of cleanup. This part's really short for some reason. I don't remember why I did that, but yeah, ipso facto. Anyways, I recently refreshed myself on some of the lore for this game, and it's completely different between versions. Like the original release and okay, like the key points of the original release and PAL plus trilogy are like more or less kept intact, but there's a lot of stuff like different. Like okay, for example, how it goes in the original is the Chozo arrive on Talon. They make a civilization because they want to get away from their technology a little bit. You know, like think of people who want to just take a break from social media or something, except it's their super advanced technology. Commune with nature, become hippies for a little while. They eventually decide, okay, we feel good about it now, but we kind of have to go back home. It's not quite home. They do that. They then get a vision because them being space hippies allow them to develop the ability to see into the future, and so they see either they get a vision or they actually like see the impact of the Phazon meteorite poison the planet, come back to try to help stop to help contain it. In the process, die, become ghosts. Slowly lose most of them. Slowly lose their sanity and become like the Chozo race that we fought. Now the weird part about this one is that the Chozo are writing things right up to the events of the game, and even as Samus lands. Like at least that's the impression I got from reading it. I don't know if it's like, oh, they were having a fever dream or something, and they were writing about that. But it sounded like it was used in the present tense a lot, which is really weird because it's just like it's supposed to be lore, but it's tracking stuff that can only happen if Samus was there. Now, in Trilogy and PAL, and there's even differences between those two, the Chozo, it's really much more of a past thing, and the Chozo never leave Talon. They're just on the planet when it gets hit with the meteor. It's kind of odd. It's really odd. But it does lead to some moments in the original release where they have some very touching moments where they talk about Samus and how she's changed from like when they knew her. Like when they knew her like as a newborn, it just like she was like 2 years old, I think. And they're commenting on like, oh, she has the look of a warrior. We can see like wounded eyes and things like that. And it's just like I do recommend reading it like on a Wikipedia article or something, like a Wikitroid or something. It's all really interesting. Hey Zoro. But don't whine in here, I'm recording. Mom and Dad aren't home, so he's just crying. So it is quite interesting, but it's just like I don't know where I was going with this. Zoro distracted me from my train of thought. I It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because like I always took the impression that these were written years ago, and now I'm finding out no. In the original release of the game, it was considered they were writing things even from beyond the grave. They were writing stuff, and we were scanning those data entries. But it also leads to touching moments where they describe Samus, and also like they also wonder what the fuck happened. I think like it's not in those words obviously, but it's just like they're wondering what the hell happened to this. We knew her as like a hatchling, a newborn, a kid, and she's become this warrior clad in armor and Chozo machines, and it's just like, and they're just like, and they're basically just betting all their hopes on her at this point because there's pretty much no one left, and they're just commenting on, oh, she is this pretty much how our species is going to live on? Like she's the last one. It's all really quite touching, honestly. but it's kind of just runs into the problem of how are they writing stuff from beyond the grave? Now, in the PAL and Trilogy versions, they're a lot more, I guess, familiar to what I'm used to, because, like, I have not read the logs since I completed, like, my first couple of playthroughs of this game, and that was on the Trilogy version. So I never really read any of the scan logs from Metroid Prime game, because I assume it was more or less the same. I knew there were some differences, but I didn't think they were, like, this major, honestly. It ultimately changes nothing, really, but it's just, like, there's so much more... There's different details, and it just kind of threw me off a bit. I'm kind of glad that I looked it up. It was an interesting read before this. God damn it, I didn't, I was hoping this would take me, I was kind of hoping this would take me through the entire part, but we're only halfway through. Oh yeah, missile stations. There's surprisingly few of these things around the planet. Like, I think that there's only maybe 2 others? Even counting the final area? Ah, shit, what impeccable timing, guys. I don't know if the microphone's picking up on this, but my parents are home. And I really don't want to have to pause this recording, because that's going to be a pain in the ass to edit. But they're also going to be noisy when they walk in, so it's just... So anyways, on to topics about the game. This area, I kind of was talking at the time, but this is the area where I think it was intended for you to fight the Chozo Ghost first, given that they only throw 1 at you, you know, to get you accustomed to enemies, you know, good old game design. I also use a sequence break trick, and that's my dog barking. He's always so happy when people show up. Okay, so I kind of messed up the half of that recording. And now we're using this so that we can be able to get... I believe it's an item? No, it's to progress to the next room. My bad. Crap, I lost my train of thought. I guess I can go... This would be a good time to go into, like, the next Metroid Prime game. Given that there's still, like, a lull. There's not much... There really isn't much. Besides getting the Ice Beam, there really isn't much going on in this part. Though I am going to show off one more sequence break technique. Okay, so what I'm about to do is called a ghetto jump. Basically, you rub yourself against the side of a wall as you jump, and it gives you slightly extra height. It has something, I think it has something to do with the collision detection or something. On the walls. This works in, like, I think every single one of the Prime games. But we have the Ice Beam, and the Ice Beam is actually really powerful. Its only real weakness is the fact that it's pretty, like, its firing range is crap. Also, I got teleported into that thing's mouth, I just realized. Anyways, this is a legitimate way of doing it, and as I wanted to talk about with Metroid Prime 4, which we still don't have any news on whatsoever, I want it to be a good game, but I also don't want it to be a gimmicky game, because, like, that's kind of what the last couple of Metroid games have been, like, even including Metroid Prime Federation Force. Like, they all have a gimmick to them. With the Metroid Other M was the Sense move, which is piss easy, so it's made the entire game a complete joke in terms of challenge, until you got to Ridley in hard mode and he kicked your ass 50 times. But, like, aside from that, like, the game was easy. Then in Metroid Samus Returns, you had the counter move, whatever the hell that thing was called. I actually forgot its name, unfortunately. you had that. And my problem with both of those is that the game became very over-centralized around that mechanic. So I'm hoping Prime 4 does not do the same, because that's actually really annoying. I hate it when games do that, and I wish they would stop. Like, just because you have a good mechanic, great. Can we not centralize the game around it? It's just... Metroid Samus Returns is a game that I have mixed feelings on. It's not a bad game. I like it. I liked my playthrough. But it's, at the same time, it's just like, it's not really my favorite, and it's not really one I really want to go back to, honestly. Like, if I want to play like an updated version of Metroid Prime, or of Metroid 2 Return of Samus, I'm probably just going to play AM2R. Because it's what I look for in a 2D Metroid game. I want to be able to explore worlds, and I also want to be able to not have to stop every 5 seconds to deal with enemies, because that just gets draining. It's just like, it gets really annoying. I hate stop and go gameplay. It's like part of the reason why I'm not like super fond of turn-based RPGs, like with obvious exceptions. I love Persona 5, for instance. Don't know if that makes me basic or not, but also I'm trying to do a sequence break to get this, but I'm slightly off. I could have redone this take of the video, but I think at this point I just wanted to get this done, like out of the way as soon as possible, so I at least had all the footage. So I didn't want to like redo the take, and I might have actually taken like 1 or 2 takes before this anyways, and I just said I'll just get it later. Because this is 100% run. It is, I know for a fact I got all the scans and I got all the items. So, like, yeah, we're fine on that front. It looks like we're almost at the end of the part, so I guess I'll have to rant about Return of Samus or Samus Returns, my bad, some other time. Bye.